Hey, what's going on guys? Today we're going to be breaking down Dishsoap playing the vertical Exotech line comp. Now, it's no surprise that this comp is actually the best comp in the meta currently, and I just thought it would be a pretty good video to review because as you've seen from the title of this video and as you've seen from the thumbnail of this video, Dishsoap has been winning a lot with this comp. So you see his 5 wins, or you see his 4 wins actually. They're actually from sort of today, and this is where he actually plays 2 Exotech boards and he also plays Cypher. So Exotech is actually looking pretty strong. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into this. So as we see here, we've got a lovely Nitro opener with a possible Steadfast Slam on the left hand side. You also get a belt which can be made into a Guard Breaker or a Sunfire Cape, and we come to the augment selection. So as we see here, we see Slayer Crest, Worth the Wait, and we see Investment Strategy. So I don't think it's Slayer Crest because we already know that we're not angling towards Slayer Crest. We have a Nitro angle where we could be playing tempo for in order to win. Not Worth the Wait because we actually already have an angle. We already have somewhere that we're trying to play to. Worth the Wait being something that can give us a angle if we want one, if we don't already have one. It could be Investment Strategy if we were looking to reroll this board, but I don't think we are looking to actually reroll this board because it's not that strong. So as we see from Miss Dishsoap, he's rerolling the 2. Now it could be Cluttered Mind for tempo purposes, however I don't think we're actually that strong in order to be doing Cluttered Mind, so we'll probably be losing. We have 2 Trick, and again 2 Trick does give us direction. However, we already have some sort of decent direction to go with, so if we want to be playing with the board that we want, we would probably be taking Portable Forge as Dishsoap does. So open up the Portable Forge, we see Flicker Blade, Luden's Tempest, Zonya's Paradox, and we see Prowler's Claw. Now we don't really have anyone to take the Prowler's Claw, or I don't see an angle for us to angle into anyone playing Prowler's Claw, potentially the Graves, but I don't think we'd go with Graves. Zonya's Paradox could be nice if we were playing the MF Dynamo Flex comp with having that on the Aurora or the Elise later on. Flicker Blade could also be useful if we had like an Aphelios. He actually opts to take the Flicker Blade and puts it on the Kindred. Now it's actually interesting that he does that because Flicker Blade is not actually the best item for someone like a Kindred because Kindred is a caster, but I see that we're already angling towards the Zeri comp, because Zeri or Aphelios would be good item holders of this Flicker Blade. So if we weren't angling towards that, we would definitely be picking a different item selection in that spot to make us that bit stronger. Also, we slammed the Guard Breaker because Guard Breaker is generally just a good item for backline carries that do AD damage. You could see that on like a Misfortune, or you could see that on potentially a Zaya or an Aphelios. And of course a Zeri, which is what we're playing into. So as you see here, he's just subbing out the Nidalee to get in our Shyvana, so we can get some Bastion going, so we can still keep in the Nitro and we can still have Bastion. So he manages to win out the first few rounds of the game, and now we're looking on to Carousel round, where we're really just looking to pick up either just a frontline item or that rod potentially, so that we can get a Rage Blade, but we don't get the rod, so we opt for a belt instead of the cloak. We can slam the Sunfires to streak, because that would be just a good early game item, and we also have a pair of Elise that I'm pretty sure we end up picking up. Looks to put in the Rapid Fire so we can buff our Kindred. Now we're coming across this Golden Ox player, and we do slam the Sunfires. We're getting a lot of value from the Sunfire actually, because we're getting that onto 4 frontline champions, and that could have been the diff between winning or losing this fight. However, we do look pretty strong, so maybe it wasn't necessarily needed, but we got a lot of strength from slamming that. Opts to choose the gold situation just to get that guaranteed gold. No real need to split, I mean, but those 2 guys got some lovely gold. Final round of the combat, we're coming across this Vanguard Marksman probably that they're playing into, and we absolutely dominated them. So we're moving on to the next creep round, and we'll see what items and augments we get. He's just putting in a quick board. So we see here we've got a Dragon's Claw. We level up so we can get the Nidalee in to continue our streak, because we are trying to look strong. Here, he reforged the cloak because we had a Dragon's Claw. Dragon's Claw is not a great item early game because we need some strong units for it to really stack up. But we do get a tier, which is not the greatest item to get because we can summon Adaptive Helm, which can go on the Sejuani later on, but not the greatest because you really want that Protector's Vow, but not really a worthy slam to play at the moment. Looking very close against this worth the wait player, but we do manage to get the win and we move on to the augment round. Now we've got Recon Bob, item grab bag, and all that shippers. Now it's not the silver because Recon Bob we already have a spot and we already know what we're angling to, so it's not going to be that. So item grab bag's a bit RNG. I would actually think about taking all that shimmers to get a Gunblade online so we can get extra gold and we can get that Gunblade on the Zeri later on. Again, re-rolling, we aren't taking any of those silver augments, not branching out or healing lobs. Trait tracker. Now I'm pretty sure, yeah, he takes trait tracker. Dishsoap is a pretty well-known player to enjoy taking trait tracker. If you don't know what trait tracker does, when you get 8 traits online, you manage to get a bunch of emblems. Now, someone who is a high-level player as Dishsoap, he is very flexible and he likes taking this trait. So we shall see how he ends up playing into this board, potentially looking at a more flex comp than a straight vertical Exotech line. However, I'm pretty sure he just plays Exotech nonetheless anyway. But we do pick up an Elise, which manages to make us quite a little bit stronger, having a 3-cost unit in the backline, but with no items, but it's still a nice pickup nonetheless. Coming across a lovely Cypher player that we will probably get the win against, so we will skip on ahead so we can get to the carousel round to see what we get. Now we're probably looking for an item for the tier or the Dragon's Claw. Don't get anything nice, so we'll probably get the declaw nonetheless. Maybe it is just a declaw sign that the game is telling us. We've got a lot of econ, so we could be just leveling 2-7 to keep our strength going. I don't see us re-rolling here, but we do, yep. We do move on to level 7, so we can get in our Divinicore, Gragas, and we opted to make the Adaptive Helm anyway. We also get a lovely targeting on the Graves, and we also get an Elise. We also actually move over our items onto our Elise because she is 3-starred, and although she is a caster also, I think she is just stronger than having the 2-star Nidalee. I mean, not Nidalee, the 2-star Kindred. Coming across this Cogmore reroll comp here that I'm pretty sure we're going to be out as well because they have not 3-starred everyone just yet, and we are 10 streaking into stage 4, so we're looking nice and strong. Come across another Elise in our shop, but I don't think we pick it up because again, we're not re-rolling Elise, we're trying to play into the Exotech Zeri line, so we're really looking to try and get the Mordekaiser in line, and we're trying to get that Sejuani and the Zeri. Now our item's looking a little bit rough, however we do manage to get to 8 and we send our roll down, and we do pick up the Zeri, and we also pick up the Mordekaiser. We also get this brother, you know, the 3-cost, his name eludes me, but we are trying to get the trait tracker online so we can potentially just move on over to vertical Exotech. And we end up taking our first loss against that marksman board. Unlucky, however, not the worst loss. And we come to the augment selection round here. Now it's actually interesting, it's definitely not Endless Hordes because you only get 1 item per unit, and that doesn't really maximize our Exotech value. And you know, in the Exotech comp we want 3 items on all of our carries, so it's not Chemtech Overdrive, nor is it Binary Airdrop. Again, we don't need more items. Not Scoped Weapons because that's normally used for backline carries for strength. Not Cybernetic Uplink either, we could just probably get better value. Not Final Ascension either, but it's interesting that he takes Bronze for Life too, which makes me believe that he's actually trying to play into his trait tracker and not actually properly play Zeri Exotech line. So Dishsoap ends up taking Bronze for Life and tries to start his roll down to try and hit his units for Exotech. So we see him picking up all these Exotech units. We've got the Zeri, we've got the Jin, we've got the Mordekaiser. Really want that Sejuani. He gets 2-star Zeri and 2-star Mord and another Zeri. And we also have the Varus for the filling us out with Exotech. So we're trying to maximize the Bronze for Life value because we do get more damage for however many Bronze traits we have active. So it's interesting what we do here. So we actually get the Shyvana in for Bastion. We get Bruiser in with the Cho'Gath. We get Dynamo in with the dynamo traits, and we just got a bunch of trait tracker emblems going. So lots of value coming, well, lots of damage amp coming from these traits. Looking very close, but we do end up winning this round. Now after that roll down, I'm going to still put it back to 2 times speed to see how we end up doing for the rest of this round. Now I'm pretty sure once we get that Sejuani online, we will be looking to just transform our board into the 7 Exotech line while trying to keep as many bronze traits as we can. Still sending it for that Sejuani. We do get the Neferi and we pick up the Sejuani to get the 7 Exotech online to get that chassis. It's also quite interesting with the fact that he actually still plays the Exotech line despite not having the greatest Exotech items, because you really do want the red, I can't remember the name, but the red item for the Zeri, or at least the Flux Capacitor. We do get the chassis, but we also don't have the Repulsor Lantern for the Sejuani. And we also have a Hyper Fangs, which typically goes on the Varus, but is okay for the Jin, not the Jin, for the Jax at the time being. Now we are probably looking to swap over the Jax items to one of our 2 tanks, and we opt to get in the bow for our Kraken save, which is actually pretty lucky that we get a bow at the last few carousels. And here we go, we're just trying to swap around our items. We get the Hyper Fangs onto the Varus, and we get Bruiser onto the Sejuani, which is nice, and we get 2 tank items on her. So we are looking fairly strong with our Exotech line. Of course, we'd like to 2-star our Sejuani, but I think our front line is good enough for the time being where we could probably just push to level 9 instead and look for Sejuani later on in the game. Now, I haven't seen a scout from Mr. Dishsoap, so I'm not too sure on what we're looking at in terms of contest, but I did see that the previous guy had 8 Mordekaisers already, so we're probably not going to be 3-starring our Mord. However, we will probably look 2-star our Sejuani. Moving on to the final fight here, we're against the Cog Reroller here. He has 3-starred his board. However, we get a massive stun on his frontline carries, his frontline tanks, but not his backline, but we still managed to win out that fight. Look at Zeri doing 14,000 damage, I believe that was. And we make it to the end of stage 4 with 50 gold, and we are looking quite healthy. Looking at this creep round here, we get a bow, we get a belt, and we get a component anvil and a few units here. Pick up a lot of more gold because the encounter was more gold per stage. Looking here for the Sejuani too, we don't get the Sejuani, but we do manage to get in the Vex for Executioner. And I think we got Techie going as well with the... okay, we take out Techie, but we do put in the Urgot, so we can get Executioner online, and we also have the Renekton online. Coming across this Strategist Amp board, not the most capped out thing because they don't have that 2-starred Samira. Quick scout for the lobby, so we try to get that big stun from the Sejuani. Looking like it's probably left hand side Sejuani, but they have scouted on the right, so I guess he just opts to put it in the middle so we can just get as much value as we can, so we're not just missing completely. But we're coming across another Strategist Amp board that has a pretty strong Samira, but we still get the win nonetheless because it's not 2-starred, and unluckily they actually get knocked out. So it's looking like a top 4 for us already. Back to the carousel around here. Probably not that Boombot emblem, to be honest, probably just looking for another frontline item because we do have just so much. Yeah, we get the stone, we get the protected valve for the Sejuani. I'm pretty sure we take off that Sunfires, put it on someone else, literally anyone else. Yeah, the Jax or the Renekton, not really the biggest thing. It is just a min-max thing, but we are still looking strong and still looking for that Sejuani, and I don't believe we're contested, so perhaps in one of these rounds, or maybe at the creep round, we'll probably send it and roll it a little bit to try and hit that 2-star Sejuani. This round looking very close, but we still end up winning on an 8 streak. Nice. Still opting to roll above 50. I mean, not roll above 50, but buy the unit. So potentially looking to just go 10 instead and forget about rolling for the Sejuani, because we actually don't even have a Sejuani pair, so it would probably take a lot of gold rather than just going for 10, which is a guaranteed, you know. It's not like I might accidentally not hit 10. Lovely streak here. Looking so strong. 87 HP against people who are literally on like 1 or 2 lives left. So we pick up an Anvil and we get a Shojin Valve. I'm pretty sure it's just the Valve for double Valve, right? Okay, he goes for a Strikers, potentially just for a 3rd Urgot item. But we do roll it down, trying to get our Urgot in. I mean, our Zac in to get the blobs. We get 2-starred our 5 cost, and we also get a 2-star Sejuani online. We get the strikers onto the Urgot, and we're looking very, very strong here. Almost capping out a board, we're just missing that 2-star Urgot, but we do end up losing this round. I think now that will probably just be a positioning diff. I don't think it's a big deal to worry. We were rolling quite a lot for that stage. It's just a positioning thing for that matchup anyway. So we see here Dishsoap just arranging his matchup, arranging his board, and we do cap out our board with the Urgot, and we move our item over onto our Renekton, and we put the Shred onto the Jhin. So we did actually miss the Sejuani stun, but we do look like we were going to knock out this guy nonetheless, just because we're so much stronger. Now it's the top 2, and I think that's the Marksman guy. Yep, it's the what's the Golden Ox guy, I mean. But I see Zaya and I see Aphelios. I'm pretty sure this just shared the spotlight. Guaranteed stun from the Sejuani. This is going to just stun the entire board, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be an easy win for Dishsoap. So we see the Koboko come in, the second Koboko come in as well. Oh, it's actually not a win. Even with the stun, we lose this. So now it's looking like we have to... Oh, we actually have an Aphelios on our board as well that we could probably get that 2-starred. So we can actually roll for that. But we also get our final item on our Renekton here, who should be a strong unit to get the that little bit of extra damage in. Opting to put the Sejuani in the middle actually instead. Or okay, so plays it back into the back right corners to potentially walk up to stun, but we get met by the Zac, so unlucky we don't get the stun of the Aphelios here. But we do get the Renekton in the back line, very close, but we don't end up winning again. So it's again, what can we do here? We just rolled down, I'm pretty sure, for the Aphelios 2 or another 2-star 5 cost. Because I think one more 2-star 5 cost will really cap us out here. There's the Aphelios. I mean, not there's the Aphelios. There is the Viego, is what I mean. Opts to put the Sejuani back in the front line instead of the back. So we can actually stun the Aphelios in the back line, which we do. 2 stuns. Is that enough? I think it is. And we get the dub. Good game. What a game from Mr. Dishsoap here. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that little breakdown. And if you did, I hope you can drop a like and a subscribe down below. And drop a comment if you did. I'll respond to it. Appreciate it very much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.